Alright guys, it is the video you have all been waiting for. So many messages, so many requests. Today we're talking about playable elites in Halo Infinite. Now this whole debate started with the rumored robot core that may be coming to Halo Infinite, and it started a firestorm. There was 3 different groups: the groups that do want the robot core, the group that wants the playable elites instead of the robot core, and the group that doesn't want any of it. I mean, there was also a 4th group that I fit into that does want the robot core, does want playable elites, and could go either way, and some of you may fall into that group too. So today we're going to talk about how likely playable elites are, how much work would 343 have to do to implement them, and will they? So let's jump into the video. So first of all, what is 343's stance on playable elites? And the last we heard was Sketch saying, "I applaud your passion and gusto, but I'll give it to you straight. We have a lot of fundamental issues to go after." He's talking about desync and lack of content. This was before Season 4 and before they fixed all the issues with the game. We may eventually get to playable elites, but sorry to say, it's not a current priority or actively being worked on right now. And the reason why this is so important is if we do get a robot core, that would indicate that they're slowly moving towards more fun stuff like that. A lot of the key critical issues that were holding back the game are finally being resolved. That's why we're getting all of this content in Season 4, that's why we're getting all these new maps, all these new playlists. We've got over 40 maps in the last 6 months, compared to the first year when we only got 3 maps. It's also really important to note that in Sketch's message, he said we may eventually get to playable elites, which means they had other stuff to do before that. So from 343, it may come in the future, and the robot core might be the first step towards different cores we see that aren't Spartans. Now, playable elites are already viable through a number of modding means. You can play the campaign as an elite, and through the new forward scripting. However, they are all bugs/glitches, and for it to be fully supported, 343 would have to do a lot of work, especially in terms of balancing, to make them fair if they come to matchmaking. And that brings me to a comment a lot of people have said: they don't want playable elites because they just aren't balanced. And on Halo 3, a lot of people would choose the small elite head, especially in game modes like SWAT or snipers, and it made them so much harder to headshot. You add in the fact that you can't really headshot them from behind, so balancing the Halo elites is quite difficult. One solution would be social playlists. You can play as any core. Ranked playlist, you can only play as a Spartan. I think that would be a fair way to do it. Currently, the only way to play as an elite in Halo games at the moment is Halo 2 multiplayer, Halo 3 multiplayer, Halo Reach Invasion, and Halo Reach Big Team Battle King of the Hill. That's very oddly specific. If you play Big Team Battle King of the Hill on Halo Reach MCC, it allows you to pick an elite. I do think Halo Reach's elites were the most balanced, however their health recharge where Spartans didn't, so in some ways that was an advantage, but they were much bigger, so they were easier to hit. In any case, sometimes video games aren't always about balancing, sometimes it's all about fun, and if a majority of people would like playable elites, I think it would be a great thing for 343 to add. In their mind, and I've said it before, there are so many different armor customizations they could do for playable elites, from minor elites to mages to zealots, elites from every single part of the Halo timeline. You could do combat evolved elites, Halo 2, and even Halo Infinite. The sky really is the limit, and that goes for all customization, not just elites, if 343 decides to go that route. So guys, do you think Halo Infinite should have playable elites? But more than that, should 343 add non-Spartan cores to the game? As always, if you want to bring awareness to this video, leave it a like. Personally, I would love playable elites, but more than that, I would love some new weapons. But that is a story for another time. We are just over 1 month away from Halo Infinite Season 5, so 343 will be unveiling what content we're going to get very, very soon. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.